welcome back. Today we are looking at one of my favorite brands, Satchel and Page. I had originally reviewed the Diplomat briefcase from Satchel and Page a while ago, and I was so blown away by the quality for the price that anybody who asks me where they should get a really nice briefcase, I always send them to Satchel and Page first. We're talking about incredible leather, solid brass hardware, polyester thread, all the good stuff that you would expect in like a small batch, small maker kind of thing, but for a really reasonable price. And what you get is truly heirloom quality. I was really happy when they announced that they'd be releasing their travel series in the form of a weekender and a garment bag. Now, what's interesting is that the garment bag is a mixed media bag, meaning that you have a little bit of leather and you have a little bit of waxed canvas there too. So I was really interested to see how these worked out. After having used these for a couple of weeks, I gotta say that my opinion of Satchel and Page has only elevated. I'm just so happy with these pieces, and I can't wait to show you what's involved here, because there's a few different twists that you may not have seen on any of their bags so far. So let's go through it. We're going to show you, this is kind of like a twofer. I'm going to show you the weekender and I'm going to show you the garment bag, but let's start with the construction like we usually do. What we're looking at here is French full grain leather, which is then sent to Italy where it's vegetable tanned and finished. Satchel and Page is really almost fanatical when it comes to their leather, and it shows. All of their leather has the same sort of supple feel to it, but it's less of a matte finish, and it sort of almost has like a three-dimensional kind of sheen. It's very hard to explain, but it looks really nice. It's sort of a more dressed up, more refined looking leather than something that you would find on one of those really rugged bags. Complementing that incredible leather is solid brass hardware, solid copper rivets, polyester thread, and YKK zippers. Now, if you had to make your own bag and you want to choose among some of the best materials available, no doubt that's what you'd be looking at. Now, I did mention that they have a mixed media bag in the garment bag, and this is it right here. What we're looking at is heavy-duty waxed canvas with their incredible leather up here. The inside is nylon, so let's talk about that construction just a little bit. Since this is a big bag, this is meant to hold, 2 full suits, all kinds of stuff, shoes, anything that you would bring with you on a trip, and it does so very well. If it was all made out of that same leather, this thing probably would have been into the thousands of dollars, and it would have weighed a ton. And I know that's why they went with the mixed media approach. Now let's talk about the capacity of this bag. It has symmetrical pockets on either side, small ones at the top where you can put sunglasses or a tie or anything small, a bottle of cologne if you'd like. Some medium ones underneath that where you could put a belt, you could put pocket squares, all those extra little bits that you have. And then at the bottom you have 2 big pockets. I use them for shoes on one side and a toiletry bag on the other side. Inside, you can easily put 2 suits if you want, a couple of shirts. You could pack that thing pretty big if you want, and then it all folds in half, zippers up, and you can take it wherever you want. And I gotta say, this thing, it looks good doing it, which is really cool, because most of the time, these garment bags are kind of unsightly. They're mostly made out of like a black weave, kind of like nylon thing. And again, it keeps it light, but they're not really the most handsome thing. They did such a nice job of combining the color of the waxed canvas here along with their leather. It's just a handsome look overall. So, when you're carrying this thing through the airport or traveling somewhere, it just looks great and it complements their bag absolutely perfectly. A couple of the little details that I like are the optional shoulder strap, which you can connect with these D-rings right here, and this big pocket that they put on the outside. If you've seen any of my other review videos, you know that I love an outside pocket because it's just really handy for when you have everything all, zippered up and somewhere, and then you got to reach in the back of your car and get something, or if you're walking through the airport and you want to keep your documentation, your passport, stuff like that at just, a hand's reach. It's really handy, and it's one of those things that I really like to have on a bag. This also has a zipper closure, so when I put my iPad in there or something that's kind of slick and can fall out, if it just gets jostled around, it's not gonna fall out and be lost and then I gotta go looking for it. But my favorite of the two is the Weekender. Look at this thing. It is huge. It carries basically everything that you would want to bring with you on a weekend trip or even longer, depending on how minimalist you are. But what I like that Satchel and Page did with this is not only did they give you one giant interior compartment here, but they also added a secondary compartment on the side with all kinds of little pockets. I mean, we're talking a padded laptop sleeve, little places that you could put pens, you could put, a field notes, you could put your phone, you could put a charger, you could put anything that you could think of that you would put in your pockets or need to bring like a secondary smaller bag with you, you could fit in here. And this thing will fit my full-size 15-inch laptop, and it really just swallows up anything that I put in there. It's great. Nice, smooth zippers, those YKK zippers like I mentioned, solid brass hardware, an optional shoulder strap, again, all held in by these solid copper rivets. Now, let's talk a little bit about these rivets that you see right here. If you don't know much about leather construction, there's sort of a hierarchy. You have your rapid set rivets, you have your double cap rivets, but at the top, you have solid copper hand set rivets, which you can tell because they almost look like a small version of a penny. Now what it is, you actually have a burr and a rivet. The rivet goes through the leather, the burr goes on top, that's the washer that you see. It is then peened over by hand, and it basically makes one solid piece that's not hollow, that will not come apart, and those are found basically anywhere that you have to really seriously anchor something down, like the shoulder strap points or here where the handle is, and you know, again, it makes for a clean, simple, minimalist, but durable and rugged look, which is so appealing to me. I mean, I think you could tell that I'm just super jazzed about this. Again, they give you an exterior pocket right here, which is really good for, you know, maybe a cell phone or your passport. I don't know, with the zipper side over here, at first I was going to say that I would have liked a full-size, full-width exterior pocket, but they basically have that over here with the added security of having a zipper on it. So I really don't think another pocket is needed, but this one right here is great for something that you just want to throw in there, like your phone, like your passport, like documents or whatever. Now, the other thing that Satchel and Page did, if you remember, they used to have a nice tartan lining, which is very, very handsome, kind of classy looking, I thought. What they've done is they've actually lined their new bag in suede, and it's like this dense, soft. I want to take a nap in there. I just want to crawl in and just take a nap. It's like buttery soft. It'll protect anything that you put into it, and it just looks so nice. They did such a wonderful job sourcing that stuff. Looks incredible, and it lines the entire bag, so you have a suede-lined leather bag. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's a gem. That is really, really nice. All their edge finishing is really good, too. Now, that's one thing that you can tell when you look at a smaller maker versus some of these mass-produced bags. The bags that are mass-produced, number one, they won't have handset rivets. The other thing is that they won't have any edge finishing on them. And that's, if you talk to any leather worker, that's usually their point of pride, is how they finish their edges. A lot of times they're finished in beeswax, but either way, the way that they finish their edges, and there's some really nice work here on this bag. There's not a lot of exposed edges, you know, but what is exposed, they did the job nicely of finishing. Now, on the bottom, you have little feet, which are really nice, especially when you go to set this thing down. It sort of keeps it elevated. It gives it a nice flat bottom here. This is reinforced with something like maybe a fiber board, but it gives it a little bit more rigidity, so when you set it down, it's a little bit more sturdy, and it stands up on its own. It doesn't just collapse in on itself, but has these 5 little feet here, which sort of just keep it off of whatever nasty, grimy floor you're putting it on. I don't know. That's at least where I travel. Now, I want to address something really quick, because I know a lot of times in my videos, I tend to get really psyched, because I absolutely love leather work, and especially just any nice quality product. I'm all about it. I just really like that stuff. These actually are loaners. They didn't give them to me, and there's no money being exchanged. This is not a paid advertisement. Satchel and Page just said, hey, we have a new line coming out. We'd like you to test it. Give us your unbiased opinion, and then would you please send them back? And I'm totally happy to do so. One thing that I like about Satchel and Page is when somebody asks me, when one of you guys asks me in the comments, how do I feel about them or would I recommend them, and you go and spend your hard-earned money on one of their products, if you don't like it because it isn't made as well as I, expressed it to be, that comes back to me. And a reputation is something that takes forever to build. It takes a long time to build up a really good reputation, but it really only takes one bad situation to completely ruin that. And it's not something that I'm willing to risk. Everything that I say about these bags, I completely believe. They are made beautifully. It's incredible how cheap that they're able to offer them, and the level of quality that you're getting. Honestly, I hope that they don't see this video, because maybe they'll want to increase the price or something. But, they're doing such a good job, and this direct-to-consumer model allows them to do that. So I really think that you'd be hard-pressed to find any bag that isn't specifically handmade for you out of very, very expensive materials within this price point that can touch these. I really think that they stand above all others that I've tried. Especially just the value is just through the roof. So we've covered everything, the construction, the design, all that stuff, my feelings on them. I've actually put these to use and taken a couple of weekend trips. They've been excellent. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will put a link in the description below where you can get these bags if you'd like. I am sure you'll be very, very happy with them. If you have any experience with Satchel and Page, please let me know in the comments below. Good, bad, indifferent. Is there something that I missed, something that you wish I would cover? I'm always happy to talk to you. So anyway, guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching.